Day 12, I'm learning the basics of dynamically instantiating scenes in Godot. To be honest, this week I only have 2 days to continue my learnings. It sucks, but I cherish the time I do have. This is me reminding myself how to make simple 8-ways movement using my trusty Godot's icon SVG. Lately, I've been trying my best to implement OOP to my Godot's code and learn code splitting with the doc's help and of course AI. Here I'm trying to force myself to use managerial scripts to manage player instantiation. Since I've yet to understand how Godots do spawn, I've been taught by AI to use preload function to get the scene reference. This marker is used for very simple player spawn position. Luckily, Godot's function to add new node or child to the scene tree is quite straightforward. I use call the vert because in my first attempt prior, I got error saying it's safer to use that, so I follow suit. And let's put the marker to D randomly to see whether my player will be spawned there. There you go, basic spawn success. I did prepare all my empty scenes and scripts with the asset beforehand to lessen setup time. Now let's prepare a reticle scene. First, I'll use Sprite 2D with Atlas texture and edit region to get my reticle from tilesheet. Set texture filter to nearest to make the pixel reticle sharp. Assign global mouse position to my reticle position. Godot has made it really simple to use global mouse position by just using get global mouse position function. I know this is unnecessary, I could just shove my reticle to my player scene, but this is me wanting to gain the muscle memory. Reticle check. Now it's time to do the projectile. Let's script the projectile so that it'll move to the direction of the mouse position. Now do projectile spawn in player script, let the player pull the trigger. Something else I learned from this session is how to see my instantiated scene. Turns out there's another scene tree representation when the game is running called remote in the scene stat. Now my player can shoot some hearts out. First, let's make my projectile size bigger. Timer in Godot is that simple. Just use timer node, set the wait time and use it in code. Here I get the timer reference. Then I can shoot flag for projectile cooldown toggle. It even has timeout signal. Here's with 1 second wait time. As you can see, my rapid clicks doesn't always instantiate new projectile. I can just change the wait time in timer node to change the cooldown time. I haven't implemented queue free for projectile when it's out of screen, hence why the remote tree is very messy. Gemini told me to use this node to help clean up my projectile instances. Feasible on-screen notifier 2D. With screen exited signal, it makes it very easy to just queue free the projectile when it's out of screen. Now my remote tree is clean. Day 13 started off quite rough. See those errors? Some scenes can't even be open anymore. Gemini said I got circular dependency error that breaks my scenes. So I fixed it and implemented in the Spawn Basics project, again for muscle memory's sake. Gemini and Stay at Home Dev showed me a Godot's project structure that somehow reminds me a lot of Next.js app router. Using a main node to house every other child nodes where main's only usage is to do game initialization. So Game Manager or Global can act like React's context to provide stuff to each and every node in main. Here is me changing my world1 script to global and turn it into Autoload. The node name here will be the singleton class name that we'll use in script. Continuing on my function global to change scene, I do control my player spawn from this global script, so change level will make sure that the level is loaded properly before player spawning. Setting up player spawn. Try my best to implement error handling. Now I'll be setting up the level scenes. The transition setup is quite the same as my simple scene transition on day 5. Only now I had marker 2D to control player spawn position upon visiting said level. Don't forget to set initial level in main script, then change main scene in application run to my main scene literally. Prior testing shows tons of errors and recommendations to call defer my change level in level script. Okay, now my intermediate scene transition works.